everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're here for the first time, thanks for being here. My name is Ellen and I'm going to be taking you through a fairly deep hip practice with some side body action as well, and I hope that as always just leaves you feeling really good, really restored. We're going to use props most probably, so if you have 2 blocks, otherwise something equivalent to 2 blocks, and then if you have a strap, there'll be a posture at the end. A strap with the buckles would be the best bet. If not, we can make a plan without it, but that is a nice to have. And then I think I always have to preface these classes with I'm not in a professional studio. I just tried to use a mic and that just sounded wrong, so I'm just going ahead with my voice again. I will try and refine these and make them better and better and better quality filming and sound as I go. For now, we're working with what I have. We're just here to practice. My baby's going to come back from the park in a little bit and she's certainly not quiet, so there'll be some sound. But we just keep on keeping on with our practice anyway, with life and things happening around us. I'm going to start you Supta Konasana. So you're going to come to lie on your back for me. Bring your feet to touch and just let the knees fall out to the edges of the mat or the edges of the room. And here's your first opportunity to use the blocks or the equivalent of a block. So you can pop that either right underneath the kind of outer hip or right down towards the knee. You can decide the setting of support that you need. I like some kind of support here. You know your body. If it feels like you really don't need it, you're welcome to just let the knees kind of be buoyant in space if they don't naturally touch the ground. But we'll be here for about 2 to 3 minutes. So I definitely want it to feel like there is some sensation, but it feels like a posture we can maintain with a fair amount of ease for 2 to 3 minutes. So you have a little bit of time as always just to kind of fidget. You want it to feel really comfortable, so take your time to settle in. And then you can decide here, you can either take the arms traditionally like we would for a Savasana, or you can bring the hands onto the body. If you feel like you want to connect to breath a little more, something more tangible, then hands on the body might be nice. And then when you are still, bring your eyes to close. And just start first by breathing in deeply through the nose. Open the mouth and take a big exhale. Go once more, breathe in through the nose. And a big audible exhale. And then let the lips seal. And we're just looking now for this really steady, even, equal breath in and out the nose. If it feels better to bring a little bit of control over breathing, you're free to do that. Otherwise, just kind of witness to breath, to movement in the torso, maybe to that tangible feeling of breath underneath your hands. And we'll take the first couple of moments of practice just to get acquainted. So really familiarizing yourself with everything that's real in the moment that we're in. So chances are high that you're lying here in this shape with me, but the mind is somewhere else. And so we try and train the mind to stay in the body, to stay in the room. And so just kind of absorbing what's happening around you. So that's in the form of sound, it's in the temperature of the room, maybe the energy of the morning, the afternoon, the evening. Without feeling like you need to fix or change anything, you can also just notice yourself. Just kind of notice where it feels like you're at physically, mentally, emotionally, even energetically. And then notice any feeling at the hips, at the adductors. And just kind of sitting with sensation, breathing into those places, those parts of the body. We're going to stay for around another 30 seconds or so. If you feel like there's not enough sensation or that initial intensity has eased off, you're welcome to lower the setting of the block or remove the blocks altogether. But if you feel like you have capacity to deepen for the last couple of breaths, you can go ahead and do that. And then just try and stay with this really rhythmic, this really smooth, consistent breath. And I'll give you time for 2 more breaths. Take them on your own and don't feel urgency to move through the breaths. Still that feeling of absorbing everything. And then at the bottom of your next exhale, if you have the props underneath knees or hips, you're just going to gently slide the props out the way. You can pop them over to one side. We're going to keep the shape in the legs for the moment. Reach your arms out wide to a big capital T shape. You'll have the palms facing up towards the ceiling. You're going to cross the right knee all the way over towards the left-hand side of the room. I want it to feel like a supine twist. So there's a couple of cues that are important here. We haven't got the 2 knees stacked one on top of the other. It's going to feel like this little stagger of the legs. Your right knee lines up to your right hip. And then you can go ahead and take the left hand to outside of the right knee. So that left hand can either just be kind of an anchoring for the knee in space, or you can use it to gently encourage the knee towards the floor. You're still rotating chest to the sky, nose to the sky. And we still have that really steady, consistent breath. I'm going to give you an option to stay as you are if you feel like you'd like to add on. You're going to bend the left leg a little more. So that's the leg that's on the ground. Take your right hand down to receive the big toe side of the foot, and then roll the right shoulder back down to the floor. So we now start to move in a couple different directions. So you're still moving right knee down to the left. You're now guiding right shoulder down to the floor, and if you have space capacity, you can point the left knee a little more towards the front of the mat. So as you pull the 2 knees apart, that's going to deepen some sensation. And stay with the breath. We'll give it 1 more exhale. Softly release the left foot if you have hold of it. Supta Baddha Konasana to come back to your back. 2 feet to touch, and you can shimmy the hips back underneath you. We'll go 2 arms wide as you breathe in. Exhale, left knee crosses all the way over the right. Create that supine twist with a little stagger of the knees, and take your right hand to your left knee. So just starting here first, kind of feel into this shape. 2 sides might be really different. Notice maybe some feeling across the left-hand side of the chest. And if you feel ready to add on, you're going to take the left hand down to hold the big toe side of your right foot. Roll the left shoulder back to the floor. And if you want more, slide that right knee more in the direction of the top of the mat. So you'll feel the quad pull away from your left heel. Keep rolling the left shoulder to the floor and pulling left knee down to the right. And then stay with that steady breath. We'll take 1 more. Softly release the right foot, Supta Baddha Konasana, to come back through the middle. The hips come back underneath you. And then go ahead and interlace the hands behind the back of the head. You're going to relax the head to the hands, take a breath in. As you exhale, it's a Baddha Konasana crunch. So you're going to lift the shape of the legs, take the elbows down towards the knees and squeeze. And then inhale just to lightly tap outer blades of the feet to the floor. It's an exhale to crunch. And then inhale to lightly tap. Exhale to crunch. So we're going to move for last 6. You can keep breathing in that pattern or to that rhythm. Last 5. And as much as you can, you're just lightly resting or tapping feet to the ground for a moment. Last 4. Last 3. We've got 2 more. Feel the abdominals start to switch on, maybe a little bit of heat. 1 more to exhale and crunch. This time you're going to keep the legs as they are. Release the hands. Happy baby. Hands to your feet. Feet to the sky. Relax the back of the head to the floor. So on arrival here, everyone has something different that's going to feel right in their body, right in the moment that we're in. So you're free to choose. You can be completely still. You can rock just a small rock from side to side. If you want to straighten one leg and then the other, or even 2 legs simultaneously, you can. But at the end of the day, we're just looking for good feeling sensation and that trust in you knowing what it is that your body needs. Okay, and then we'll give it another 2 or so breaths. And then gently pull the knees in towards the chest. You're going to take the hands to hold the backs of the knees. Rock up past the seat and meet me in a tabletop position. So we're coming onto hands and knees. You've got fingers spread or set wide on the mat. And then we're going to kick the right leg out to the right hand side. Plant the right foot flat to the floor. So make sure you have top of the left foot to the ground. This is going to be our inhale. You have shoulders over wrists. As you exhale, imagine child's pose. So lower the left sit bone to your left heel. And then flex your right foot. Turn your right toes up to the ceiling. You're going to inhale, travel forward. Flatten the right foot to the ground. The right toes face the front of the mat. And then exhale to press back left sit bone to left heel, right foot flexed, toes to sky. We'll go once more to breathe in and to exhale out. Inhale to bring shoulders over thumbs. Exhale, bend through the right leg. Your heel drags in, your toes turn out. And we want heels stacked underneath the knees, so leg at 90. So I'm going to use a block here. It's up to you. Either block on any setting to the inner blade of the foot or just hands straight to the ground. Create a side bend in the left arm. So left arm comes up and overhead. We're imagining an extended side angle here with the back knee down on the ground. And then I always feel like there's a version of the posture when we first arrive and we're not maybe completely conscious of everything in the body. And then there's the version when we can start to refine it. So imagine here how it would feel to squeeze your glutes and drive your pubic bone forward. Peel the left hip back. Keep reaching left bicep near the ear. So really think of lengthening through the left hand side of your body. And then breathe to stay. We'll take 1 more big breath in. Exhale, hands come back to a tabletop position. Your block will move out the way. Take your left knee 1 step over to the right. Step your right knee behind your left, separate the feet, and then come to sit between your heels, Gomukhasana. So 2 sit bones down to the floor. If not, just sitting yourself on a flat block. You can either stay upright or start to fold forward. And as you fold, you'll kind of feel like you're leaning into a little bit more sensation. And then I want this to feel quite soft, quite passive. If you feel like you're really flexible here and it feels like we're tipping too far forward, you can push the forearms or the hands into the ground and just kind of roll the sit bones back to the floor. And then take 1 more breath. walk your hands back up towards your knees. Land 2 hands to the right, Malasana to face the back of your mat. So your feet will swivel, that right knee will lift and respond. Elbows come inside the knees and take an inhale to widen across the collarbones. We'll exhale to a forward fold, so hands to the ground, spin your heels back, your toes forward, your feet land about as wide as the mat. And then a moment here just to feel into this. So you can sway a little side to side, you can take some half lifts and folds. Again, just exploring some good feeling sensation. And then we're back to Malasana on the inhale. So heels in, toes out. Bring your hands to your heart at the top of the breath. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the ground, heels back, toes forward. We'll go once more. Malasana to breathe in. And an exhale to fold. From your forward fold, keep the feet as wide as they are. Bend the knees until the hamstrings sit parallel to the ground. Inhale for a wide-legged chair. So you've got the feet probably set about as wide as the mat. Bring your biceps up near your ears. Feel the whole back chain of the legs start to switch on. And then take one more inhale. As you exhale, right leg steps to the back of the mat. Lower the right knee down to the floor. Anjaneyasana is your breath in. We're going to exhale, side bend to the left. So you're either lowering the left hand down straight to the ground, or you're elevating your left hand onto a block. Reach your right arm up and over to the left hand side of the mat. And if you want more, you can bring your right hand to hold the back of the head, even crawling the right hand down towards the left shoulder blade, and think of pointing the elbow up and over to the left hand side. And then take another breath. Inhale, it's Anjaneyasana back through center. You can reach 2 arms back up to the sky. Exhale, side bend to the right. Same thing applies. You can go hand to ground. You can elevate the hand on something. And then reach the left arm up and over. We probably feel a tendency here to turn chest to sky if it feels like there's a lot of room. But can you keep 2 sides of the waist equidistant to what is now top of the mat, and focus more on that side body stretch? So the more you can close off or shrink the right hand side of the body, the more you'll expand or stretch through the left. If you need more, hand to back of the head or hand to right shoulder blade, and you can bend through that right elbow and get an even bigger arc through the left hand side. And then take one more inhale. Exhale, your left hand lands beside your right. Lift the back knee, Skandasana to the right, to the front of the mat. Your props can move out the way. So any version of this, again, we're just looking for some good feeling sensation. You decide whether that's stillness, whether it's some movement, and then take last exhale. Inhale, 2 hands land to the top of the mat. Single leg plank, float your right foot parallel to the ground. And then exhale, lower the right shin straight underneath the right hip. You're going to kick left leg wide to the left, plant the left foot flat, and bring top of the right foot to the ground. Next time you exhale, melt your right sit bone back to your right heel, flex your left foot, and roll the left toes to the sky. We'll inhale to travel forward, plant the left foot flat, toes face forward. And then exhale to press back to sit back, toes facing up towards the ceiling. We'll go last time. So you inhale, roll forward, flatten the left foot, and then exhale to press back. Inhale to come forward, flatten the left foot. Exhale, left knee bends to 90. So you're going to drag the foot in, it's heel under your knee, toes turn out to the left. Either hand straight to the ground or hand to a block on the inner blade of the left foot. Reach the right arm up and overhead. So again, we're visualizing that extended side angle, the right knee down to the floor. So you want to feel glutes engage again. So you're peeling that right hip back. Think of sending your pubic bone a little further forward. And then I even like the feedback of pushing the left tricep into the knee a little, kind of like we're gently coaxing it towards the back of the mat. And then again, we've got that bicep near the ear. You're reaching the wrist all the way over to the left, So like you could stretch the skin a little more down the right side. And then take one more inhale. Exhale, tabletop in your hands. Block moves out the way. Right knee takes one step to the left. Left knee crisscrosses behind the right. Separate your feet and come to sit between your heels again. Okay, so we're back in this cow face posture. You're welcome to sit on that block if you want some support, or a pillow. And if you want more, you're leaning forward and just trying to lean into sensation. And then just kind of sitting with the feeling for a couple of breaths. So postures like this need just time and patience and attention and breath. And then give it one more breath. Stay till the bottom of the exhale. Walk your hands back up towards your shins. We're going to land two hands to the left. Malasana to spin to face the back of the mat. Elbows come inside the knees. Bring your hands to your heart as you breathe in. So you're actively widening across the chest. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the ground, heels back, toes forward. We'll go two more just like that. So Malasana on the inhale. Toes out, bring your hands to your heart. And then exhale, forward fold. Once more. Inhale to Malasana. Again, really look for feeling. There's a little pause at the top of the breath. Exhale, forward fold, spin heels back. Together here, let's take a halfway lift on the inhale. So lengthen, think sit bones up to the sky. And then exhale to fold, maybe a little bit more active. Pull the belly between the knees. You're going to bend the knees enough until the hamstrings sit parallel to the ground. Inhale, chair through the top half of the body with this wide sit through the legs. So think of lowering sit bones back and down. We'll take one more inhale. Exhale, left leg steps softly back with the mat. Lower the left knee to the floor. Anjaneyasana is your breath in to lift the chest. So we're going to exhale that side bend to the right. So your right hand lowers either to the ground or elevated onto something. Reach your left arm up and over to the right. And then you can even think here of a little pull of the ribs towards one another. See if that changes any feeling through the left hand side of the body. And then your options here again are either hand to back of the head, there's my baby, or left hand down towards the right shoulder blade. And think of pointing the elbow up and over to the right. That's going to help create a little more space through the left. Take one more breath out. Inhale, Anjaneyasana through the middle, two arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, side bend to the left. Left hand lowers, possibly to a block. Reach the right arm up and over. You can stay with that lengthened arm. You can go hand to head. You can hand to left shoulder blade. And if you want more, you can bend the left elbow and feel like you're expanding a little bit more through the right side. Take another inhale. Exhale, right hand lands beside the left. Lift the left knee, Skandasana to the left, to the top of the mat. Right leg straight. You've got right foot flexed, toes to sky. And then again, any variation here that feels best in your body. Give it one more breath out. Two hands land to the top of the mat. Single leg plank as you breathe in, left leg to float. Exhale, left shin to the ground underneath your left hip. Right leg steps wide to the right. Bend the right knee, it's heel underneath the knee, toes turn out to the right side. So we're going to work that extended side angle variation again. You choose now whether you have capacity for a lower setting on the block or possibly no block. Reach your left bicep again near your ear. And then that feeling constantly of glutes engaged. Left hip peels back, right hip presses forward. Pubic bone forward. And if you want, a little push of the right arm into the right knee. It's like you could just widen at that hip crease. Take another inhale. Exhale, hands back to that tabletop position. Step the right foot right to the back of the mat. Land on the right toes. Three-legged down dog on the inhale. That's left leg to the sky.
You're going to exhale, bend the left knee, bring your heel towards your sit bone, and start to point your left knee right up to the ceiling. So you're letting the hips roll open to face the left. If you have a lot of room here in your body, you're welcome to lower the right forearm down to the ground as well. We'll give it last breath in. As you exhale, left knee to right, elbow to right tricep, crisscross down dog. Step your left foot across the right, and then press your chest back. You're welcome to bend through your knees as much as you need to. We'll take one more inhale. Exhale, a little bend to the knees if you don't already have them. Press belly back, press chest back. Your right foot, that's your back foot, steps to top right corner of the mat. Left foot will take one step to the left. Runner's lunge, you're free to move. Maybe it's stillness. You're welcome to lower the back knee if you prefer. But just something that feels good through that hip. And we'll give it another breath. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee if it's not already lifted, and then start to walk the hands forward. So the further you walk the hands here, the more intense this will become. So you just decide where the edge is and whether you want to meet it today or not. The back knee is going to stay lifted up off the ground. You're thinking of melting hips down towards the floor. Push into the palms and into the feet to feel steady. And then we breathe to stay. So this part of the practice is probably the hardest bit of work over practice today. So just try and stay with me, stay with the breath. We'll take one more exhale. Everything's going to stay exactly as it is. Can you float the right arm parallel to the ground? Your right palm will be facing the left hand side. Now push into your feet. You'll probably feel the hips lift, so make the legs switch on. Can you float the left arm beside the right? We're in this runner's lunge with rocket ship arms, ribs just inside the right leg. Hold for 3, for 2. On 1, that wide-legged chair. Step your left foot top left corner of the mat. Bend the knees. Reach the chest up on the inhale. Exhale, Samasthiti, wide legs. Straighten the legs and bring your hands to your heart. We'll inhale, high mountain, reach the arms up. Exhale to forward fold. Malasana as you inhale, your heels turn and your toes turn out. Bring your hands to your heart. Exhale a vinyasa of your choice to a down dog. If you want to go ahead, feel free to go ahead. If you'd like to play with this jump back, land the hands to the floor and then imagine everything like a seesaw, like we have to lean in order to be softly stepping or jumping back. So hands to the ground. I'm going to lean as much weight as I can forward and into the fingers in order to softly float or step back, chaturanga. Up dog or cobra on your inhale, and then you'll meet me down dog when you're ready on the exhale. One breath as you arrive here, maybe a big audible breath out. And then bring your chin to your chest. Take an inhale to roll the spine forward to a plank. So really think of articulating. Keep that chin lock and take your time. Exhale, gaze between your thumbs. Belly lowers all the way down to the floor. You're welcome to use your knees. Untuck the toes at the bottom and bring your right leg to a 90-degree bend. So to a half frog shape, your right toes will face the right. You can inhale either for a cobra here or for a full up dog variation, so 2 straight arms. Wherever you are, pull the shoulder blades together. Squeeze your left glute and see if that changes the feeling across the front of the left hip. And then take another breath in. Exhale to bend the arms to lower belly, chest, and forehead to the ground. We'll tuck the left toes under. Here's another little bit of a challenge. So can you move to a single leg plank? Everything moving simultaneously. So we'll inhale to straighten the arms and to float the right leg back. Exhale, bring your right knee to your nose. Step the right foot through between your hands. Extended side angle to face the left. I'm going to stick with the block, it's up to you. If you feel ready to go hand to the inner blade of the foot, you can go there right away. Bring your left bicep back near your ear. And then it's all the same kind of mechanisms, all the same tools or tweaks apply. Now we have 2 feet to really anchor into, so you can anchor into the outer blade of your left foot and then really stay with your breath. So you're going to have a little moment to just hold and breathe. Think of breathing down into that right hip. Breathe into the left hand side of your body. Can you stay for 3, for 2, on 1, 2 hands land to the ground, block moves out the way. Right shin steps underneath your right hip. Left leg kicks wide to the left. Plant the left foot flat. You're going to spin left heel in, toes out. Either hand or block to the inner blade of the foot. Reach the right arm up and overhead. That extended side angle again with the back knee down. Keep turning ribs and hips to face the front of the mat. And then as much as you can, stay with breathing. We'll stay 1 more breath in. As you exhale, hands back to that tabletop to release. Your left leg kicks all the way to the back of the mat. Tuck the left toes. 3-legged down dog on the inhale. It's right leg to sky. You're going to exhale, bend the right knee. Start to open the hips and maybe even the chest to face the right. Think of pointing the right knee to the ceiling. And if you did on the other side, you're lowering the left forearm to the floor. We'll take 1 more breath in. Exhale, right knee to left elbow or tricep across the body. Crisscross down dog, right foot steps across the left. And then press the chest back towards the thighs. And then everyone, if you haven't already, bend your knees like a little bit of a spring. You're going to step your left foot, that's your back foot, top left corner of the mat. Your right foot will take a little step to the right. We're in that runner's lunge. And you're free to move however you'd like here when we first arrive. So, knee can be down or up. You can be still, even if that's what feels best in your body. And then we'll give it another beat. And then come through center, lift the back knee up off the ground if it was dropped, and start to walk the hands forward. So the further you walk again, the harder it's going to be. So you decide, even if we have had a practice on another day where it feels like the hands are right out in front of us, and today you're like, I'm 1 hand print forward and that's enough. Just really listening to that. So it doesn't have to always be your edge, and every day an edge can feel a little different. But again, I just want that dominant thing to be good feeling sensation. And then you're going to stay here. Float the left arm parallel to the ground. Have your left palm facing the right. Push 2 feet into the floor. So switch on the legs. Can you float the right arm beside the left? A little bit of work. We breathe and hold for 3. For 2. On 1, that wide-legged chair. 2 feet as wide as the mat. Inhale to lift the collarbones a little. And then exhale, Samasthiti, wide legs, hands to heart. Take a big inhale, reach the arms up. And an exhale to fold through the middle. Malasana, as you breathe in, spin the toes out. Bring your hands to your sternum. And then exhale, we're moving through that vinyasa. So you're landing your hands. If you just want to step or go right away, you can. Otherwise, play and trust that lean forward in order to float back. You can move through that vinyasa to your own breath. It might even be nice to kind of take a pause, maybe an extra sip of air somewhere along the way. Down dog when you're ready. Bring your chin to your chest. Inhale to wave forward to plank. Really don't miss that moment because there's something to be felt here too. Exhale, gaze between your thumbs and lower your belly all the way down to the floor. Half frog through the left. So it's a 90-degree bend, left toes face the left. Take an inhale for some kind of back bend. Just keep back body engaged and maybe that right glute switched on. Take 1 more inhale. Exhale, lower belly, chest, forehead to floor. Tuck the right toes. Single leg plank on 1 breath in. Can you straighten the arms and float the left leg back? Exhale, left knee to nose, step the left foot through. Extended side angle to face the right. on or off the block, it's up to you. We're going to come here for a little bit of a hold again. If anything visually feels like it's distracting, I find it a really helpful practice just to close down the eyes. Kind of get rid of all the visual noise. Maybe it feels like it quietens any noise going on in the mind as well. Push into your feet, push the left arm into the left knee, some feet back. Keep reaching with the right arm and breathe to stay. Take one more breath. Beautiful. Release. Lower two hands down to frame that left foot. Roll to the ball of the back foot. Step your left shin underneath your left hip. And then bring right knee to nose. You're going to round through the spine. Half pigeon on the right. Your shin comes down to a 45. Slide the left knee back. And then we're going to take something passive here. So you can start to fold forward. You have the props. If you want to use them, you can pop the forehead to a block. You can lay the forehead down to the ground. You can stack your palms. You can stack fists. But I want it to feel really supportive. So if you need to, bring the ground up to you in some way. And then maybe take a big breath or two. And here's that practice of learning to be still in your body. And that practice of learning to lean into sensation. So here, the softer, the heavier you can get in the torso and the trunk, the more that'll place weight over the shin into the hips, and the more it'll feel like we get a little bit closer to the ground. Give it 2 more breaths. And walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Tuck your left toes. Slide the left knee underneath your left hip. And then take the right leg back like a figure 4. So your right knee and heel are going to land up in a straight line, and it's parallel to the short edge of the mat. We're going to move through a puppy pose variation here. So flare your sit bones, the lumbar spine up to the ceiling. Start to walk the hands forward. Either bring the forehead or the chin down towards the floor. Try and keep that feeling of flaring the sit bones back and up. And if there is feeling in the right glute, we're just staying with that, breathing into that place. Otherwise, just enjoying the freedom here to breathe into the front of the body, the sides of the body, the space that we feel now through the sidelines. And we'll take one more breath only. Gently lift up and away from the ground. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. You're going to untangle the right leg. Kick the right leg to the back of the mat. Tuck the right toes. Bring your left knee to your nose. Half pigeon on the left. Lay your shin, knee and ankle to the floor. So again, we're finding that passive variation. I feel like there's a lot of sensation to be felt in this setup as well. So I kind of take my time to find that evenness through the hips, to slide the right knee back, sometimes even a little lift of the chest first. So again, don't feel urgency. And I think important to know always in practice that there's something to be felt in transitions. So there's something to be felt along the way or from one posture to another. And so often the patience to kind of set up the base properly facilitates a better feeling posture or a steadier feeling posture anyway. And then use that first 1 or 2 breaths to kind of signal to the body that we're spending time here, that we're relaxing into this feeling. Imagine the hips keep becoming heavier to the ground. They both work equidistant down towards the floor. And you're probably going to feel like it's easier to really lean or relax into that feeling on exhale. So use that breath out to feel like you could pull closer to the ground or just kind of give into gravity.
Take one more breath.
And then walk your hands back under your shoulders, lift your chest, tuck your right toes, slide your right knee underneath your right hip, take your left shin back like a figure 4. Big toe and knee in line. The further you can wiggle that left knee back, the more feeling you'll get. Flare the sit bones up to the sky first, and then start to walk the hands forward, puppy pose. So the forehead to ground will still give sensation, but it'll be less than chin to the floor, so you can decide what you feel like today. And then again, still that feeling of pushing into the hands to lean the sit bones back and flare them up. And if you don't feel anything in that left glute, you're just enjoying the space again to breathe here, the space that you've made through the sides of your body. Take another breath. And then walk your hands back underneath you. You're simply going to untangle the left leg to a tabletop, swing the legs around, and come to a seat. Okay. So we're going to set up for a final posture here. This is where I would love for us to use the strap if you do have one. If you don't, you're going to come to a traditional happy baby instead. If you're staying with me, loosen the strap so it's all in one flush line. You're going to take the loose end of the strap through both the buckles. It then goes over the first buckle and under the second. So we want to create a really short tail, so it's a big loop, a big circle to work with initially. And then you can come to lie on your back when you're ready and loop the strap underneath the balls of your feet in a happy baby. You're going to have the buckle over to one side. Loop the strap behind the back of the head. This is probably the part where it all goes wrong. It's not sitting at the neck, so it's sitting at the very base of the skull so that your chin stays locked into your chest and it feels like your head can really rest like a hammock. The head's really supported. You can bring the arms alongside the body like a Savasana. You can bring them through the inside of the legs if you'd like. But we're creating this hammock feeling that you can relax head to strap. It's going to pull on the feet, pull the knees towards the ground. If you don't feel anything here, you can either loop or tighten the strap by pulling on that little short tail, or even, if you feel like you have enough capacity, the piece of the strap that sits between the feet, you're going to slide that to meet the other end of the strap. So you now have two ends of the strap connected, and you loop that behind the back of the head. And then depending on how short your strap is, for me that's hella close. You might want a little less. You can decide. If you are somewhere between the two, again, you can just shorten the strap or make it a little bit of a smaller circle. Okay. And then we'll settle in. We'll just be here for about 5 breaths. If this is too much and you just want to untangle to a traditional happy baby, you can go ahead and do that. This can feel really nice to have this support, this kind of hammocked feeling in the body. And just starting to slow the breath if the heart rate feels elevated at all. Kind of beginning that shift of preparing the mind, the body for Savasana. Take another 2 breaths. Okay, if you need a little bit more time, you're absolutely free to stay. Otherwise, you can unloop the strap from the back of the head, unloop the strap from your feet, Bring knees to chest if you need it, maybe give them a little squeeze. And then meet me flat on your backs. So in your Savasana, the same arm options apply as we started with. So traditionally alongside the body, hands to the body if you want that tangible connection to breath. And then a little tuck of the chin to the chest, back of the neck is spacious, eyes come to close. Begin first by breathing in deeply. And then exhaling completely. And go once more, breathe in. And exhale. And then all I want you to do over the next 60 seconds or so is, again, just really arrive in the moment that we're in. Absorb any sound of life happening around you. Absorb this feeling of having moved your body, this feeling of the body now heavy and really still on the ground. Can you quieten everything else enough that it feels like you could just rest your mind on your breath for a moment? Just feeling like we could soak it up, like we could really soak it all in. What I think one of the most beautiful parts of what present moment awareness can teach us is the kind of gravity when you pause in a moment like this and realize that this moment on this day, at the end of this practice in this way, we won't have ever again. And so we really hold it with a tenderness, with a gratitude. We hold it sacred. And just a heart full of gratitude for your body, for your health, for this practice, for this moment that we're in together. And we'll softly breathe in through the nose together again. Take a gentle exhale. And then I'm going to leave you here to stay on your backs. When you do move slowly, move lightly. You might want to come up to a seat and kind of reflect again for a little minute longer. And as always, thank you for your trust, and I'll see you next time.